So there's loads of floods happening all over the world at the same time. A lot of this footage in this video is from February 2023, this year. That was Auckland you just saw. This is Sicily, Italy. I believe it's going to be completely underwater, to be honest with you.
Incredible statistics emerging from yesterday's deluge. It was Auckland's wettest day on record, with 245 millimetres of rain in 24 hours. In just 4 hours, the city received triple the amount of rain it would usually get for the whole month of January. Fire and emergency services responded to 719 weather-related incidents. That was between midnight and 7:30 this morning. It included 126 rescues of people trapped in cars and houses. More than 2,000 people were stranded at Auckland airport terminals overnight, where the buildings were flooded with up to knee-high water. More than 20,000 homes in the city lost power.
And this is Auckland, Wellington, New Zealand. I believe New Zealand and Australia are going to have a lot of flooding take place. They've had so much already. There's a lot more on the way. This is in South Africa. This has just happened recently as I'm making this video. This is again Cyclone Gabriel, New Zealand, Australia. These cyclones are going to pick up. And the Earth there's so many high pressure belts, so much geomagnetic activity. There's a lot of flooding all over the world on the way. It's been happening for 3 years now, but just in the last couple of days, there has been pretty much extreme weather warnings all over the world. And it's safe to say that I see Earth's map completely changing. Completely. Had a dream once that the Earth's map was completely different. This is again South Africa. And as you can see, there's massive amounts of waters creating like these rivers out of nowhere, and in a lot of these places the water's not sinking below the ground. It's actually literally creating new waterways. So if people are able to survive this, we might be moving around in a lot of small boats going forward in the future. Again, South Africa, Protea Glen. And these are just some of the videos because there were floods across all parts of the country, and I'm sure that applies to the rest of the world as well. Yet again, I think this may be in Australia or New Zealand. This is Mozambique, also quite recently. And a lot of Africa, so we've got huge geomagnetic activity, insane earthquakes, landslides. Haven't been really checking the volcanic activity, just been watching huge amounts of water displacements and rain and floods throughout Earth. But it's quite insane to see so many countries affected simultaneously by floods. And I know this was a little bit early in the year, but there's still extreme weather warnings. This is Sacramento, California. A lot of places are flooding, man, and it's huge amounts of water displacement all throughout the Earth. I find it quite funny that, I mean, look at that, the cars are literally floating. I find it funny that, you know, no one's sort of saying, well, listen, we've got floods all over the Earth taking place. I've been following this for a while now, and I'm telling you that a lot of places are going to be underwater. There's such huge seismic and geomagnetic changes taking place. I would put all my money down on saying, not that money's going to matter because it's going to change so much, but I'd put all my money down on saying that the map is going to change completely, like you can't believe. So it's going to be quite interesting to watch play out. I mean, these are just huge volumes of water, massive. I mean, look at that, it's insane. And this is happening all over the world. It's incredible, actually. Yet again, Auckland. It's just, you know, these scenes, when you see them all over the world. I mean, that Sacramento aerial footage is very similar to a flood in Pakistan. It's just, this is extreme, widespread flooding. And here is an excellent example of that. This is not an ocean, this is water above land, stretching for miles. And for water to hold like that, I mean, it's probably reached the water table. I mean, as I said, in some regions, the water is not sinking into the earth. This is like, it's actually honestly mind-blowing. I don't know how the world's not actually speaking about this. And here is a good example of how the ocean's playing a huge part in this too, with water just rushing in. I've seen scenes like this from all over the world as well. It's quite crazy. It honestly is absolutely
Motorists
crazy.
stranded on top of vehicles, with rescuers trying to reach them by air, water, and land. Vehicles submerged, first responders wading through dangerous waters and breaking into cars in search of survivors, the flooding having claimed one life so far. Throughout the weekend, dozens of people throughout California have been rescued amid historic rainfall and flooding. Sacramento, the water came rushing in after a levee on the Cosumnes River failed. Highways and homes turned into islands.
We're still going basically car to car of these disabled vehicles along the highways and the roads and clearing them to make sure that nobody is inside.
The New Year's Eve storm produced wind gusts more than 64 miles per hour, sending trees crashing into homes. Thousands in Sacramento still without power. A flash flood warning is in effect through Monday as residents brace for more rain on the way. Priscilla Thompson, NBC.
So yeah, that wasn't the beginning of the year. This video is being made in February, but as you can see, this it's not stopping. This is continuing. This is going to continue. This is not going to stop. I predicted this years ago. I actually lost hope in this prediction. Not that it's a good thing to hope for, but it's good to know that my assessment was correct. This is occurring all over the world. And it's not going to stop anytime soon. I mean, look at this. This is Australia. Same scenario, same story, opposite ends of the earth. Insane amounts of water coming in. As I said, I had a dream years ago where I was like shown a new map of Earth. I couldn't believe it because of how much the map changed. And now looking at all of this stuff, I think this is also Australia or New South Wales. I'm not sure exactly where. Yeah, this is Australia. But I couldn't believe the dream because the map that was being shown to me, the Earth's map had changed so drastically, but now this all makes sense.
17 people have now died as California continues to be battered by severe weather for yet another week. 2 of the recent deaths were from lightning strikes, and a young boy remains missing after he was swept away by floodwaters. The entire community of Planada have been evacuated. Emergency crews had to pull a woman and a girl to safety after 2 cars fell into this sinkhole. These are scenes taken from a trapped member at Planet Fitness. This is footage This is footage from Union Station in LA as passengers had to be shuttled out with golf carts. The driver of this Tesla had to be pulled to safety after losing control in the rain and smashing through someone's wall and into their pool. As of right now, 22 million people are under flood warnings, and forecasters warn that yet another, quote, enormous cyclone is poised to bring up to 10 more inches of rain to Northern California in the coming days. But of course,
I'm keeping track of this. If you find this interesting, stick around, like, subscribe, share, and try to create some more awareness around this because it's happening and it's gonna affect all of us.